Fox. Now, your primetime local news leader. Fox 22 News at 10.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tyler Cruz. First tonight, legislators gave emotional testimonies as the Senate officially passed a controversial bill from Governor Janet Mills that would extend abortion access past Maine's viability cutoff of around 24 weeks. LD 1619 would also eliminate the requirement to use the United States Standard Report of Induced Termination of Pregnancy by excluding any identifying information of the patient. However, medical providers would be required to report to the Department of Health and Human Services the date and location of the abortion, age of the patient and fetus, and the method used to perform the abortion.
They need support and love. More than anything, they need to be able to trust that our laws will protect them and allow them to receive the medical care they need close to home from a provider they know and trust.
This bill is an attack on mothers and their babies, and it is a strategic attack orchestrated by Planned Parenthood. It is the abortion industry influence and money that brings us to this moment today.
The House and the Senate will have a second round of voting on the bill, and if passed, it would go to Governor Mills to be signed into law. Maine's Democratic governor has vetoed a bill that concerns the future of offshore wind development in the state. Conservationists and labor leaders push expansion of offshore wind in Maine, and Governor Janet Mills has made it a focus of her tenure. The Maine legislature passed a bill to modify visual impact standards to help encourage more development of wind power. Lawmakers also amend the bill to require the wind projects to have labor agreements. Mills did not support the labor agreement portion and vetoed the bill. Senator Susan Collins is a member of the U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. Today, she was asked about the situation involving President Trump in the newly released tape.
There's no doubt in my mind that we've had a lot of trouble with the handling of classified documents. President Trump has mishandled classified documents. President Biden has mishandled classified documents. And it seems to me that we need to look at how we are handling them in general.
Senator Collins says as a member of the Intelligence Committee, the thought of taking home a classified document is shocking to her. We will have more on the Donald Trump story later in the show. Governor Mills has officially signed 36 bills into law. Our Grace Blanchard spoke with a political science expert on what this latest session of the legislature has looked like and what it means for Mainers.
Sheer number or output doesn't necessarily tell you everything or even the most important thing you need to know about the impact of a particular legislative session.
Mark Brewer is the acting chair of the Department of Political Science at the University of Maine in Orono. He reflected on the takeaways on the work from the governor and legislature over the past 6 months as they have taken on many highly debated topics.
Looking at this from a nonpartisan perspective, I would say Mainers should be relatively happy with how their government has functioned. You want government that addresses the important issues, even if you only want them to do nothing on it. You want it to be debated and discussed. And I think for the most part, the legislature and the governor have done that this session.
The goal was for the session to be concluded by the third week in June. But as Brewer highlights, policymaking is rarely smooth.
When you sit back and look at the session as a whole to this point, I think what sticks out to me the most is that maybe it's been a little more conflictual than normal.
Partisan and institutional conflict is natural, but Brewer says some of the conflict from this latest session has not been quite as normal, given the inter-party conflict between the chambers.
I think the primary source of that conflict is that Speaker Talbot Ross tends to represent or come from a part of the Democratic Party that's on the more progressive or liberal side, and Governor Mills represents maybe a more moderate wing of the Democratic Party.
And despite Governor Mills being unable to run for a third term, Brewer says the work that Mills and the legislature have done will play out in the next round of elections.
Her record and her policies, as well as the legislative performance, will be in that agenda. So I'm sure nobody wants to look to elections right now, but they're going to be on us before we know it. And what's happening now will be fodder for debate during that election season.
In Orono, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Former Brewer High School athletic trainer Benjamin Pushard was back in court today. His lawyer filed a motion before sentencing, asking the court to allow access to the victim's medical records. Pushard's sentencing was postponed while they wait on the judge's ruling. Justice Bruce Maloney ruled that he will conduct what is known as an in-camera review of the reading of a required material alone without anyone present before making a final decision. Pushard is expected to be sentenced sometime in August. New funding could create up to 80 jobs at a former mill site in Millinocket. The Finance Authority of Maine has approved financing for Katahdin salmon, Maine's first inland land-based salmon farm. The salmon will be hatched, raised, and processed on site at the facility in the former mill site and then sold to regional Northeast markets. A statement says the loan from FAME will contribute to the financing of pre-construction and first management hires. The annual Impaired Driving Summit was held in Bangor earlier today. Co-hosted by AAA Northern New England and the Maine Bureau of Highway Safety, the summit aims to educate motorists about the dangers of impaired driving.
100% of these crashes are preventable by just being responsible and not getting behind the wheel after we're impaired.
Organizers from the event stress the importance of staying off the road if consuming any substances and add that drugged driving is just as dangerous as drunk driving. Statistics from the nonprofit organization Mothers Against Drunk Driving state that Maine had 153 drunk driving-related fatalities in 2021. They also state that there are an estimated 300,000 drunk drivers on the road every day. For more information on how you can help prevent impaired driving, visit the Maine Bureau of Highway Safety's website. Continuous wet weather across the state this month has led to abnormally high rainfall totals. Our David Ledford brings us more about one of the rainiest Junes on record.
It's been very, very rainy, close to record-breaking.
Rainfall this month has exceeded the expected norms for June, surpassing accumulation totals and impacting Mainers in a number of ways. Our meteorologist Conrad Sapinski broke down the perpetual drizzle.
Rainfall-wise, we're over 5 inches of rain so far this year, around 5.2, and we're not even close to being done just yet. We're looking at probably ending the month at around maybe 6.5, maybe even 7 inches. Our average is closer to like 3.5, so we're pretty much doubling our average for June.
Sapinski says the state has seen rain an estimated 23 days out of the month so far, and he expects similar rainfall to continue throughout the rest of the month. At Baxter State Park, Director Kevin Adams says the rainfall has led to flooding in some areas, making a number of park trails impassable over the weekend.
We do have some other streams in the park that we have strongly recommended people not cross because of the flow and the depth of the water. It's been a highly unusual rain amount for this long.
For others, this month's rain has had an impact on business.
It's been very nonstop, and me with my business, I do have a stump grinding business, and it's really hard to get equipment in and out, so it's like put us very behind in business right now. Over the last 6 weeks, I'd say that we've been behind quite a bit, and I've never seen the rain like it is right now. So it's a pain. It's a real big pain.
As gloomy weather continues, psychologist Carolyn Holnagel says it's important to remember to take care of your mental health.
Rain brings less sunlight, and so less sunlight can disrupt our internal clock, and it can affect then our serotonin levels, which can also affect our mood in a negative way. Make sure you get out and exercise. Make sure you make time for friends and family. Make sure you get that social interaction.
In Bangor, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And now we're going to turn things over to Chase Ropenack with a first look at our forecast.
Thank you, Tyler. Tonight's first weather is brought to you by Webb's RV. Come check out the spring and summer specials we have on RVs and campers. And don't forget, we have the sharpest pencil in town. All right, let's take a look at the radar right now. We do have some more showers making their way into the Bangor area, and those are going to continue into tonight and tomorrow morning, as well as we'll see some thunderstorms in the early morning hours. Other than that, let's take a look at the future temperatures for tonight. It's going to be pretty mild out there. Looks like mid-60s for most of the area, Bangor around 65, and we can see slightly warmer near the southwest. We can see 66 in South Paris, and then a little bit chillier near Deer Isle near the coast. Other than that, most of the region will be seeing around mid-60s for the overnight hours. But then as we get into Tomorrow and tonight as well, we're going to have some more thunderstorm activity, bringing some more scattered showers that are going to linger into Thursday, but most of that thunderstorm activity looks to hit around Wednesday morning, so this will be something to keep an eye on as we go into those morning hours. But for overnight tonight, we'll have some cloudy skies, and then looks like around 6 a.m. is when those storms are going to start moving in, but lows will stay around the mid-60s. Tyler?
All right, looks like we're going to stay dry during the overnight, and I think we could use it a little bit. Still to come on Fox 22 News at 10. Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center is getting $12,000 for its pediatrics department. We'll have those details, and our AJ Douglas will tell us about a nonprofit treating veterans with equine therapy. Those stories and more local news when we return.
Van Sickle Kia is Northern Maine's first choice for pre-owned vehicles. We have a great selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with payments and prices for every budget. Shop your favorite brands like Kia, Ford, Jeep, Toyota, Honda, Subaru, Volvo, and more, all serviced, state inspected, starting at just $99.99 with payments just $239 a month, only at Van Sickle Kia.
The best cars, the best prices, and the best warranty. I'm Peter Van Sickle. I guarantee it.
Moderate to severe eczema still disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it disrupts my skin with itch. It disrupts my skin with rash. But now, I can disrupt eczema with Rinvoq. Rinvoq is not a steroid, topical, or injection. It's one pill once a day. Many taking Rinvoq saw clear or almost clear skin, while some saw up to 100% clear skin. And they felt dramatic and fast itch relief, some as early as 2 days. That's Rinvoq Relief.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your doctor about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Tucson with America's best warranty. Lease a Tucson for $249 a month or get 0% APR for 36 months or $750 bonus cash. See your Bangor Hyundai dealer.
Wood, composite, or PVC, with options that include the modern look of cable railing. Your perfect new deck begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
Hello, I'm Emma Smith, and coming up on Good Morning Maine, we'll hear about how horses are being used in the process of mental health therapy. Plus, we'll see what was presented during the AAA Driving Impaired Summit. And we'll check out how local strawberry fields are faring. We'll have these stories and much more coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Welcome back. A family who lost nearly everything says their prayers have been answered with loving neighbors. Devin Dagnall sat down with the family to talk about the Good Samaritans helping them.
Both my wife and I stood there and we had a peace about everything. We knew that God would take care of us.
Over the weekend, Gary and Louise Haynes, their daughter, son-in-law, and 3 grandchildren lost the home belonging to their family for generations to a fire.
We loved the house. I was brought up there. It's been in the family for 6 generations. Funny, my grandson, Elijah, who the next morning, he went up to my wife and he said, Nana, he said, I think God thinks that 6 generations was probably enough. And
Everyone in the family, thankfully, made it out safely, but this story isn't about the fire. It's about what happened after. Haynes claims to have witnessed an act of God while neighbors brought clothes, cash, food, and toys for the grandchildren, some before the embers had even cooled. A donation that was especially moving came from a group of siblings who, according to Haynes, had survived a house fire only 2 years prior. Together, they took money out of their savings accounts to buy new bikes for all 3 grandchildren.
I am just completely overwhelmed by the generosity of the people in this area.
Easily one of the biggest donations came from the Haynes' neighbor of over 40 years, Donna Pratt.
I was standing there and I was wondering, well, I wonder where we're going to be tonight, where we're going to sleep tonight. And I don't think it was 15, 20 minutes later, Donna called.
And I just knew that they were going to move into my house.
Pratt, who had recently put her house up for sale, offered her home to the Hayneses indefinitely while they get back on their feet. When we asked Pratt what moved her to make such a massive donation, she credited her faith and stated she believes it's what God wanted her to do.
It's like you asked me, how did you know that you should give your house to stay? You just know in your heart, because that's what you know.
For the time being, Pratt will be living with her daughter, and the Haynes family plans to rebuild their home as soon as they can. In Wynn, Devin Dagnall, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Thanks for that, Devin. Certainly a touching story there. Moving on, last month in celebration of Maine Iced Coffee Day, Dunkin' Donuts donated $1 for every iced coffee sold to the Dunkin' Joy in Childhood Foundation. Now they are giving that money to multiple Maine hospitals. They raised $49,000, and on Tuesday they donated $12,000 of that money to Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center in Bangor. Northern Light plans to use the funding to upgrade technology in pediatric patient rooms.
So many things that we use that generous donation for, but we are specifically hoping to buy smart TVs for all of our pediatric rooms. Give kids a chance to do some of the things in the hospital that they do at home.
Dunkin's always trying to look for ways to give back to the community, and there's no better way than the hospital and for our children.
And in the coming weeks, Dunkin' Donuts will be donating more of the funds to both St. Mary's Hospital in Lewiston and the Barbara Bush Hospital in Portland. A nonprofit organization is thinking outside the box while offering non-conventional therapeutic experiences to veterans and first responders. AJ Douglas watched veterans take a step into some unknown territories with a 2,000-pound companion as their guide.
And a lot of people are struggling with just so much going on in their brains that there's really never an off switch.
Veterans and first responders gathered for breakfast and coffee around a campfire during a weekly Coffee and Connect meetup hosted by Reigning Hope Ranch in Orrington Tuesday. The Equine Barn was founded in 2021 to offer therapy services in a non-conventional way to any individual struggling with emotional or psychological challenges.
I feel that being able to get together and be with one another as a community is just one way that you can approach healing.
Amir is not only known as the class clown, but Amir is also known to help people release pain or pent-up anxieties.
I really enjoy just like this connection that the horses bring. They add another level of conversation to sessions. They bring in a level of compassion that maybe we don't see in ourselves.
Organization leaders say therapeutic interactions with horses are a valuable way to strike the interests of vulnerable groups, such as veterans and first responders, who may not be open to traditional forms of therapy.
One, because of the stigma of asking for help to start with. And then when you ask for help, in the past and even today, it's go into an office, you're going into a facility. In this setting, it's an out-of-the-box approach.
Reigning Hope Ranch will continue to host Coffee and Connect meetings open to active and retired veterans and first responders each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. To learn more about upcoming fundraising events, log on to reigninghoperanch.com. In Orrington, I'm AJ Douglas for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Looks like AJ had a little bit of fun with the horses today. Still more to come coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22. We'll have an update on Donald Trump's classified documents retention lawsuit. And the accused killer of 4 university students in Idaho was in court to face the death penalty earlier today. Those stories and more as the 10 p.m. news continues on Fox 22.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
If you're waiting for a sign that it's time to finally tackle that window or patio door project you've been putting off, here it is. Renewal by Andersen's incredible Window Replacement Days celebration. Act now, because during this limited time event, you'll get stunning custom replacement windows and patio doors for less. Get all the benefits of Renewal by Andersen's exclusive and easy replacement window and door process, and save a lot of money while you're at it. This opportunity won't be sticking around for long, and neither will these savings. Schedule your free design consultation now and call Renewal by Andersen today.
The Chevy RS family of SUVs has it all. Whether you want the 10.2-inch diagonal color touchscreen on the Chevy Blazer, or extra peace of mind with Chevy Safety Assist standard on the 2023 Chevy family of SUVs. So take your pick. The choice is yours. Spring into adventure and get 1.9% financing on select popular Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. Visit your Maine Chevy dealer.
Maine is a one-of-a-kind beautiful state, and there's no better way to see it than from the air. Fletcher Mountain Aviation offers an aerial experience like no other, featuring seaplane flights where you will see the best views in Maine from the air and land on Maine's most beautiful lakes. An experience you will never forget, with views from the northern Maine woods, Moosehead Lake, and Katahdin regions. Come fly and see our beautiful state from the sky with Fletcher Mountain Aviation. Visit our website here or scan the QR code to book your flight today.
Where in America do the best cooks come from? This is MasterChef, like you've never seen it before.
4 regions, 20 contestants.
Welcome to the United Taste of America.
The Northeast is bringing it. What's up?
West side is the best side.
In the South, we're praying for everybody.
Midwest. Sharpen your knives.
MasterChef United Tastes of America. Wednesdays on Fox and stream on Hulu.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome. Our new questions about former President Donald Trump's retention of sensitive and classified national security documents after he left office. A new audio recording seemingly features the former president boasting about having information dealing with Iran. A spokesperson is dismissing it as rhetorical speech. Fox News chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel reports.
We did absolutely nothing wrong. This is just another hoax. It's called, I would say, election interference more than anything else.
In battleground New Hampshire, former President Trump reacting to the fallout from a leaked audio recording of him talking after leaving office about sensitive national security information regarding a plan to attack Iran. The audio is from a 2021 meeting with an author and several staffers at his Bedminster, New Jersey club.
Isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Mm-hmm. Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. But look at this. You attack. See, as president, I could have did less about it. Now I can't, you know. But this is classic.
The former president continues maintaining it was not a classified document. It was just newspaper and magazine articles, a point he made with Bret Baier last week.
There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things. And it may have been held up or may not, but that was not a document. I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify.
On Fox Today, presidential candidate Nikki Haley called this matter a distraction from more important issues.
All I can say is if the indictment is true, I think it's reckless, but there's going to be a trial and Trump will have the ability to defend himself. But we can't keep chasing every drama that surrounds Trump.
While at the White House, a spokesperson would not say if President Biden has heard the newly released Trump audio.
I'm simply just not going to go here and refer you to the DOJ on anything related to this matter.
This audio has two potential impacts at some point on a jury hearing the former president's classified documents case. Then there's the political aspect, whether it takes him off message, and if voters consider it a distraction from Republican efforts to win back the White House. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
It has been 4 years since Jeffrey Epstein took his own life while he was awaiting trial in a New York City federal jail on sex trafficking charges. Earlier today, the Justice Department's Inspector General issued a report detailing findings from an investigation into Epstein's death. Fox News senior national correspondent Rich Edson is in Washington with the latest.
A scathing report from the Justice Department's watchdog. The Inspector General concluded Jeffrey Epstein could commit suicide because of, quote, numerous and serious failures by the Bureau of Prisons. Investigators say after Epstein's death, they discovered piles of blankets, linens, and clothes in his cell. Some had been ripped to tie nooses. The report also says the prison was short-staffed, guards failed to check in on Epstein, and officials left him without a cellmate.
The combination of negligence, misconduct, and outright job performance failures documented in today's report all contributed to an environment in which arguably one of the most notorious inmates in the BOP's custody was left unmonitored and alone in his cell with an excess of prison linens, thereby providing him with the opportunity to take his own life.
Epstein, a wealthy and well-connected financier, had been charged with sexually abusing dozens of teenage girls, leading to questions of whether he was murdered. The years-long investigation probing Epstein's 2019 death agreed with the FBI that it was a suicide, not murder, that killed Epstein.
In my opinion, the whole thing is completely misguided, and there's no real will to find out what happened, because any way you slice it, this is a black mark on our justice system, the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice and the FBI.
Prosecutors accused two guards of sleeping and surfing the internet the night Epstein died and charged them with falsifying records. They reached a plea agreement. The Bureau of Prisons says it has already changed procedures and now requires more training for staff. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox News.
Actor Julian Sands has been found dead. The remains of the Oscar-nominated actor, known for roles in A Room with a View and Leaving Las Vegas, were discovered by hikers on Sunday, June 25th, in the California wilderness near Mount Baldy. The actor, an avid and experienced hiker, was reporting missing on January 13th after going on a hike to a peak rising more than 10,000 feet. An autopsy has reportedly been conducted, but further test results are needed to determine a cause of death. Sands, who was born in England, had been married since 1990, was the father of 3 children. Julian Sands was 65 years old. Police in Muskogee, Oklahoma, suspect the deaths of in-laws of NASCAR driver Jimmy Johnson is a case of murder-suicide. One of the victims, Jack Janway, was a chiropractor. A sign on his business Tuesday said the office was closed because of unforeseen circumstances. His wife, Terry, placed a 911 call on Monday to report a person with a gun at the couple's home. Police suspect Terry was the shooter. She, her husband, and one of the couple's 11-year-old grandchildren have died.
I mean, it's one of those things that throws you off. I knew Dr. Janway. Dr. Janway has worked on me. We've been acquaintances for a very, very long time since I've been in Muskogee. And so just knowing that it was him and his family took a different toll on me. It was even more bone-chilling when we found out there were children involved.
Jimmy Johnson is married to the Janway's daughter. The grandson who was killed was not Johnson's son. Johnson will not be racing in this weekend's NASCAR Cup Series street race in Chicago. The 28-year-old man accused of murdering 4 students at the University of Idaho last year was eye to eye with a judge earlier today as his attorney argued they need more evidence handed over to make a strong case for her client. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera reports the latest.
Brian Kohberger was back in court as prosecutors pushed for the death penalty. In a hearing that lasted about 30 minutes, Kohberger's attorney asked the court to order prosecutors to turn over more evidence.
These are critical, relevant materials, all of them.
Kohberger's defense wants phone records, training records for 3 investigators, and information on why the FBI expanded the range of model years of a white Hyundai Elantra that they were looking for in connection to the case. Kohberger's car initially fell outside the range that authorities were publicly trying to track down. Kohberger is accused of stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death last year. Prosecutors say he exhibited utter disregard for human life, one of several aggravating factors they argue warrant the death penalty. He could be executed by firing squad if convicted.
Whoever did this should be charged with the death penalty. We've got multiple murders, and they were heinous.
In a few weeks, the house where the murders happened will be gone. Before its demolition, personal items are being removed for the victims' family members to claim if they wish as they grieve.
I'm glad that we're in a situation of strength and the evidence is there, and we feel that we can, they can go forward with this.
The judge ruled the prosecution must turn over evidence by July 14th. Mala Rivera, Fox News.
Still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, we will have new details coming out of Russia after the influential mercenary group Wagner briefly mutinied. And in sports, the athletic director at Husson University is retiring after 10 years at the helm. What he'll miss most about the job. We'll be right back.
I'm looking for a partner that I can invest $250,000 in. I'm looking for my next food star.
Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars, Wednesdays on Fox.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Did you know that an alpaca item is the most wish-listed gift idea? Stop searching for that perfect gift and start shopping for it at the Blue Alpaca in Belfast. It doesn't matter who's on your gift list, the Blue Alpaca has something for everyone with an incredible selection of alpaca socks, hats, sweaters, even stuffed animals and more. Shop in-store or online and take advantage of their free nationwide shipping. Too much to choose from? Don't worry, the Blue Alpaca also offers gift cards. The Blue Alpaca, feel the difference.
Now is the time to consider taking care of your driveway or parking lot. With more than 25 years experience, Harvey Paving and Seal Coating specializes in asphalt maintenance. A fantastic way to extend the life of your asphalt is by taking care of it, and we will fill in all the cracks and seal coat afterwards. This leaves your driveway with a beautiful finish looking like new. Why not increase the curb appeal of your residential or commercial space? Give us a call today at Harvey Paving and Seal Coating for a free quote, 262-0154.
Dine on the deck with a delicious view at the Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub. Experience outdoor dining at its finest. Open Tuesday through Sunday with award-winning dishes from their executive chef, Arturo Montes. Dining on the deck at Ryan's Pub is an unforgettable culinary experience you'll want to share with your family and friends. We are pet-friendly, so your furry friends are always welcome to join you at your table. Your next visit to the Lucerne Inn will feel like the first, all over again.
I cried when a mammogram showed a lump that turned out to be breast cancer. I almost skipped that mammogram because of my workload, but it may have saved my life.
If you're a woman between the ages of 50 and 74, talk to your provider about being screened for breast cancer.
After treatment and surgery last fall, I'm so relieved to be cancer-free now.
Watch for changes in your breasts and learn more about breast cancer screening at screenmaine.org.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Welcome back. The president of Belarus confirms the head of Russian mercenary organization called the Wagner Group has arrived in his country. Yevgeny Prigozhin fled there after his brief mutiny against Kremlin leaders over the weekend. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palkot has more from Kiev, Ukraine.
A Russian missile strike on a busy eastern Ukrainian town today. Many dead and injured. A reminder Russia is very much still in this war. As President Putin, at a Kremlin gathering of security forces, put a spin on the recent turmoil in his country, branding the Wagner mercenary group uprising blackmail doomed to failure, raising the specter of civil war averted.
You protected the Constitution, the lives, the safety and the freedom of our people. You saved our motherland from turmoil. In fact, you stopped a civil war.
In neighboring Belarus, President Lukashenko noted his role in the events. It said he helped strike a deal heading off confrontation. He too ramped up the rhetoric.
God forbid that turmoil spread across the whole of Russia, and there were colossal grounds for that. We could be next.
Lukashenko also said Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin is now in his country. He and at least some of his fighters had been set to go into exile there and maybe set up a new base. Russia says charges against all are dropped. The group's threat, a real concern.
It's a very dangerous organization, and wherever they operate, they bring with them
death, destruction, deceit, criminal activity.
As Ukraine advances against Russian forces, new gains around the battered town of Bakhmut. Do officials here think the time is right to strike?
Yes, of course. It's we have to do it. Everything is possible to kick out the Russian soldiers from our territory.
The stakes of all of this are high. Lukashenko also said that most of the Russian nuclear weapons set to be deployed in Belarus have arrived, and that he, along with Moscow, would be in control. Concerning stuff. In Kyiv, Greg Balgott, Fox News.
Senator Angus King says he thinks Russians are beginning to doubt whether the war against Ukraine is really worth it. He talked about the coup attempt over the weekend by Russian mercenary forces who marched toward Moscow but stopped after reaching a deal with Vladimir Putin.
It does indicate that there are some doubts, rising doubts within Russia about this war. It's costing them lives, treasure, and there's no reason for it. There was no reason it had to start in the first place.
He says he hopes that the coup attempt will have another impact on Russian President Putin, that it too gets him into serious talks about ending the war. Italian ministers vow to find and punish a person who was filmed carving his and his apparent girlfriend's names into the wall of the Colosseum in Rome. The message Ivan plus Haley 23 appeared on the Colosseum wall. A California tourist saw someone apparently defacing the Colosseum and took out his camera to film it because he couldn't believe what was happening in front of his eyes.
Walking, see this person just blatantly carving his name, and graffiti is one thing, and I've seen people do it elsewhere in my travels here, but this is the Colosseum. Honestly, at the end of the day, whether he has to pay the fine or not, if learning the lesson means paying the fine, then so be it. But I just honestly want him and anybody else who would think of doing such a thing to realize that this is not acceptable behavior. When you visit a foreign country, you're being hosted by these people. They've taken you in, they've given you food and shelter, and you can't repay them with blatant disrespect like this.
A Russian tourist was fined the equivalent of $25,000, received a 4-year suspended jail sentence for engraving a big letter K on the wall of the Colosseum. The following year, 2 American tourists were also cited for aggravated damage after they carved their names into the monument. A massive heat wave is now threatening more than 60 million people across the United States. In Texas, officials are monitoring how the state's power grid is holding up under sweltering temperatures. Fox News senior correspondent Casey Stiegel has more.
While severe storms pummel the northern U.S. with heavy rain and damaging winds, heat alerts are expanding for folks across the South.
That's no good thing about the heat.
But I don't know, it's better because it's dry instead of humid.
Triple-digit temperatures are stifling millions of Americans from Arizona to Florida. Meteorologists say the heat wave is due to a dome of high pressure over the region, and in parts of Texas and Louisiana, the conditions are threatening to push real field temperatures as high as 115 degrees. Cooling centers are opening up as health officials urge people to protect themselves against heat-related illnesses.
I make sure there's always a turning point in my walk that's not super far away from normally I walk near my house. And then second of all, I stop to get water all the time.
Forecasters say this kind of weather is unusual for June. It's forcing folks who spend the month working outdoors to adjust their plans.
Try to get as much of that really hard stuff done before lunchtime, and then try to work in the shade after that.
For now, Texas officials say the state's power grid is holding up in this extreme heat, but experts warn demand will only go up as summer continues.
It's definitely putting strains on the power grid, definitely pushing us to where these voluntary conservation notices are needed.
Forecasters say this heat wave will expand into parts of the Midwest by Wednesday. That's the latest from Dallas. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
And coming up next, Chase Ropanak is in with our full 5-day forecast. We could use some heat.
Looks like we got some more rain on the way, as we do have some showers in the area right now. Will we beat the record of 9 consecutive days of rain in June? I'll have that coming right up.
LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Can alert you if you left it open and let you close it from most anywhere in the world. And where's the best place to get your LiftMaster? From PDQ Door. PDQDoor.com.
Sonny's Par 3 and Driving Range, located in Winterport, is the perfect place to practice all aspects of your golf techniques. Owned and operated by professional golf instructor Sonny Reynolds, this Par 3 course will suit anyone's game. Sonny's features a Par 3 golf course, a driving range, and golf lessons are available too. It's easy to see why Sonny's Par 3 and Driving Range is the best kept secret in Winterport. We look forward to seeing you this season at Sonny's Par 3 and Driving Range.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
When it comes to the feud,
name a way a woman might say she likes her men and her cheese.
You either nail it,
sharp,
spicy, or fail it.
Full of adventure.
When you're at the grocery store, you want to find some adventurous cheese running around the dairy section.
Family Feud.
Where are you going? Stop all this adventure.
Weeknights at 7 on Fox 22. LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Can alert you if you left it open and let you close it from most anywhere in the world. And where's the best place to get your LiftMaster? From PDQ Door. PDQDoor.com.
The world's biggest headliners serving up their mammoth hits.
Sensational!
Welcome back. Tonight's main weather is brought to you by the Blue Alpaca Ranch and Store. Visit our ranch and meet the alpacas or shop in our store in downtown Belfast. All right, let's take a look at that weather right now. We do have some more showers making their way into the Bangor area, and then we do have some scattered thunderstorms that will be making our way into the morning hours overnight tonight. But first, let's take a look at the future temperatures going into tonight. Looks like it's going to be pretty mild for most of our areas. 64 around Bangor, will be around the same at Deer Isle, 65, and a little bit warmer up north. We can see Clayton Lake at 67. Temperature trend throughout the rest of the week shows that we are going to take a little dip Wednesday. It's going to get into the upper 60s, but then we'll rise back up into 78 for the high Friday, and then it's going to stay around those mid to low 70s into the weekend for the 4th of July weekend. So should be a fun time if the rain stays away, but I don't think it's going to. So let's take a look at the humidity that's going to be coming with these rain showers throughout the week. It's going to stay in that muggy region as the temperatures and the dew points stay close as we have lots of more rain on the way. It'll take a little dip. Looks like Friday it will be much more comfortable. But other than that, it's going to be humid and sticky out there. So keep this in mind as we have more showers on the way. Now, speaking of that, this whole month, we've only got about 2 good days of sun. We did have some partly cloudy days on the Wednesday, June 21st. Other than that, we have been filled with clouds and rain. We have not really seen much sunshine. So this will be something to look into as we keep on having more rain showers move through the area throughout the rest of the week. Now, let's take a look at those future rain chances. Pretty low going into tonight, but if we take a look, it's going to ramp up big time as we get into the Wednesday morning hours, and then they'll stay around scattered as we go throughout the day, Wednesday into Thursday as well. So take a look at that radar. We're going to see around the Wednesday morning hours a big thunderstorm. It'll be moving through the area, followed by some more scattered thunderstorms and then lingering showers as well going into Thursday. So it's the thunderstorm activity will be pretty high up there going into the early morning hours as we move on. But let's take a look at the wind speeds out there right now. Pretty breezy near Bangor. We have a southeast wind around 12 miles per hour, and it seems to be the same around much of the area. We do have some more calmer winds by the coast, still slightly breezy, and we can see some 12-mile-per-hour winds as well from the southeast up north. So slightly breezy around the area today. Nothing too much to worry about. For tonight's forecast, we'll be hitting a low of 62 degrees. We'll have those scattered thunderstorms moving through the area early in the morning, and we'll have areas of dense fog tonight after around 8 p.m., so be safe on the roads with winds from the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Going into tomorrow, high of 68 degrees. Scattered thunderstorms will continue, and it'll be pretty foggy in the early morning hours. into the afternoon. We can see around 10 to 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. we'll see some more fog, and winds will be picking up from the south as well. Extended forecast shows that we're going to be pretty rainy this week. Looks like we have some thunderstorms going into tomorrow and then lingering showers throughout the rest of the week with temperatures in the upper 60s all the way to the upper 70s as well. Tyler?
Thanks for that, Chase. Hoping those rain chances on the weekend turn into sun chances. Sports is next with Ryan Sudol. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay with us.
Who likes to drink good coffee? At Carabassa Coffee Company, we roast premium quality coffee beans from all over the world. Roasted to perfection in small batches, our coffee is always fresh. We offer a large selection, including our specialty blends, organics, single origins, decaf, and flavor. Whether you like light, medium, or dark roasts, we have coffee to suit every taste. We offer flat rate shipping for online orders, and we ship fast. Carabassa Coffee Company. Drink good coffee.
Welcome to the Mad Moose Saloon. Get ready to dance the night away to the best live music in town on the largest dance floor in the entire state. Just 20 minutes north of Bangor, the Mad Moose Saloon is the place to be for live music and entertainment. And we always have special events here at the Mad Moose Saloon. Our next big live event is Rednecks and Longnecks Memorial Barbecue and Concert on Saturday, July 15th. Mad Moose Saloon, where the music comes alive and the dance floor never stops.
We won last year. We won this year. Now you win too. It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. Lease an Ioniq 5 for $299 a month with a total $7,500 EV lease bonus or get $5,000 bonus cash. See your Bangor Hyundai dealer.
I heard about you. You're that smart kid.
Young Sheldon, boy genius on Origin Story.
Yes, that's me.
A small-town boy.
Young man. Yes, you.
With supersonic hearing. Visionary vision.
Cheeky little Miwan, you know you don't belong there.
And a heightened sense of smell.
Ew. Put your shoes back on.
Young Sheldon, 5 times a week.
Weekdays at 6 on Fox 22.
You can't smell this.
Yes, I can.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Ansley Moore, a realtor since 2013, working throughout the state of Maine with both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start over at Husson. After 10 years at the helm and 40-plus years in college athletics, athletic director Frank Pergolizzi is calling it a career. In his decade at Husson, Pergolizzi has overseen 56 conference championships and introduced women's golf, women's tennis, and track and field programs. He's also brought on huge upgrades to facilities like a new weight room, a press box at Winkin Complex, and a new hitting pavilion for softball. For him to be able to help with those efforts is a distinct honor.
I'm glad I was able to help make a contribution and glad that I was able to be part of those kind of efforts on campus to make the facilities to be, first class and really have an impact on our students and their perception of those things.
And for someone who carried noteworthy class and dedication to his post, Pergolizzi says that the part he'll miss the most about his job is the people he got to help along the way.
The opportunity to work together with our staff and support our student athletes. Those are really the two things. This job is about people. At the end of the day, it's about helping kids be successful and helping coaches be successful.
Best of luck to Mr. Pergolizzi on his future endeavors. Okay, now let's move to the Boston Bruins. Monday night was the annual NHL Awards, and although it's not the trophies they wanted, 3 Bruins took home some hardware. Patrice Bergeron won the Selke Trophy for Defender of the Year for a record 6th time, and Linus Ullmark won his first Vezina Trophy for the best goaltender in the league. In both men's acceptance speeches, they were quick to thank those around them with the Bruins who believe in them so much.
I want to thank the Jacobs family, Don Sweeney, Cam Neely, and the whole Boston Bruins organization for welcoming me and my family with open arms since day one.
I want to thank the Boston Bruins organization, our coaching staff, trainers, and everyone that's part of our day-to-day. Of course, my incredible teammates. It's an honor to compete alongside all of you. Thank you for making me a better player and person.
And first-year head coach and former Maine Black Bear National champion Jim Montgomery won the Jack Adams Award for Coach of the Year. It's been a tough journey for Monty, as at the start of 2020, he was fired as the Stars head coach due to struggles with alcohol. Now, he credits not just the Bruins, but the other team in his life with his comeback story, his family.
And I had to change my actions and behaviors. And that's when my new team, the most important team in my life, is what leads to the success that I live daily right now. It doesn't happen alone. I'm very appreciative for both teams that I'm lucky to be a part of that help me on a daily basis. Thank you.
Just a great story right there. Congratulations to Coach Montgomery. Now for some golf. At Augusta Country Club Tuesday was the final round of the main event tournament. Some of the best pros and amateurs in the state going at it, and we've got some highlights. A little damp out there, but that's all right. Here's longtime Maine pro Dave Grigel at 18, a beautiful chip off the rough, putting it just a few inches from the cup. What finesse from the old-timer. He'd finished tied for 44th. Over to the third hole, overall leader Topsom native and University of Georgia golfer Caleb Manuel sinking that par putt. Back at 18, it's Boothbay Harbor's Matthew Forelli knocking down this birdie putt. He'd finished tied for 22nd, but Manuel had it going all day. Here's a perfect drive on 4, complete with the club twirl. Manuel pulling away to win the main event at 9 under par, 5 shots ahead of second place. And finally, some unfortunate news in the football world. Former New England Patriots quarterback Ryan Mallett tragically died on Tuesday. According to reports, Mallett drowned at a beach on Florida's Gulf Coast. Mallett was drafted by the Patriots in 2011 after a stellar college career at Arkansas, which included finishing 7th in Heisman voting in 2010. Mallett spent his first 3 years in New England and was Tom Brady's backup in 2012. He then spent the remaining 5 years of his career with Houston and Baltimore. At the time of his passing, he was the head coach of Arkansas's Whitehall High School football team. Ryan Mallett was 35. Okay, that's all the time we have for sports. I'm Ryan Sudol. We'll be back right after the break.
Sleeping hot is the biggest complaint we hear. Check out the new Tempur-Breeze. You can feel up to 10 degrees cooler every night. And now get up to 60 months no interest. Stay cool, like me. Experience the Sleep Lab at Jordan's.
Let's face it, getting training and experience is hard, but at Loring Job Corps, we can help. From certifications in automotive technology, obtaining your CDL, or learning building trades, we have you covered. Maybe you prefer joining the high-tech world of computer networking or cybersecurity. We have that as well. Don't delay, get in the driver's seat to your future today. And the best part, Loring Job Corps is free. Receive free training, free meals, and even free housing. Call or go to jobcorps.gov/Loring. Job Corps careers begin here.
The longest lasting brand.
Toyota is the longest lasting brand. And at the Toyota Summer Value Event, recent and soon-to-be college grads could get a $500 rebate over and above most other offers. Toyota, let's go places.
So, all of us are here to talk about trading. Right now at US Cellular, you can get a new phone without having to trade in your old one.
Trade you my PB&J for that phone.
No, kid, you don't have to trade. See, $1,100 off any phone at US Cellular. No trade-in needed.
You drive a hard bargain. Boom. Chocolate milk.
You don't have to trade. I'll take the chocolate milk.
Okay.
Get $1,100 off any phone. No trade-in needed. US Cellular, built for us.
Great things are always cooking at the Ground. New menu, new specials, with an amazing variety of choices for every taste. Good times, great service, and amazing food. Only at your locally owned Ground, Odland Road, Bangor.
Sketch, Forrest! Sketch!
Pictionary.
My daddy, he liked Pictionary. He liked Pictionary shrimp, Pictionary shrimp.
Bringing unforgettable family fun.
The grill master, the kids, the dad.
Oh my God! Right into your living room.
This is for the trip to Toothberry. Get this. Get this, you did it. You're going to Antigua.
Weekdays at 10 on Fox 22.
Snoring keeping you up? Temper Ergo Smart Bases detects snoring and automatically raises your head that may reduce snoring. And now get up to 60 months no interest. Now you both can sleep undisturbed. Experience the Sleep Lab at Jordan's.
Atlanta United, Philadelphia Union, Sunday on Fox.
Welcome back. Well, Ryan Seacrest is stepping into Pat Sajak's shoes. The 48-year-old host of American Idol said in a statement that he is humbled and grateful for the opportunity, and went on to say that the move feels full circle. One of Seacrest's first television gigs was hosting the short-lived Merv Griffin game show Click from 1997 to 1999. Merv Griffin himself is a TV legend, having also created Jeopardy and, of course, Wheel of Fortune, so it is full circle. Seacrest finished his statement by saying, quote, "I can't wait to continue the tradition of spinning the wheel and working alongside the great Vanna White," end quote. Looking forward to see what he does with Wheel of Fortune. Moving on, in honor of its 64th birthday on Wednesday, Governor's Restaurant wants to share its birthday in the most Maine way possible, with some lobster rolls. Known to many as Lobster Roll Day, Governor's will be selling these fresh Maine classics for $9.64 while supplies last. It's a great deal. Employees spent the day trying to get a head start on what they say is one of the busiest days for the establishment.
People have this marked on their calendar. They put our placemats on their refrigerators, marking that day. They'll line up and it'll start coming in when we open at 6:30. We might have some available then, but we really start gearing up at 8 o'clock in the morning to start selling.
Imagine a lobster roll at 6:30 in the morning. If your mouth is watering, owner Jason Clay recommends getting your lobster roll as soon as you can, maybe at the crack of dawn, because once they're out, they are out. I might have to stop by and get me one of those. Moving on, when members of the law enforcement community go to work each day, they never know what they may get called to do. That was the case today when Hancock County Sheriff Scott Kane was in Blue Hill. A mama duck and her little babies were trying to cross Main Street. Dodging cars can be terrifying and dangerous when you are so low to the ground and hard to see because you're a duck. Sheriff Kane stopped his vehicle and turned on the lights to stop traffic. 2 babies were left behind, so he also helped escort the little family to the other side of the road to make sure they all got there safely. Kane says he never expected to become part of his own Make Way for Ducklings story. It seems the motto, protect and serve, sometimes applies to more than just people. That's fun. This week's inclement weather is not deterring Mainers from picking fresh strawberries. Also fun. Trey Wergy's Orchards in Levant opened for You Pick Strawberries at 8 a.m. on Tuesday. A handful of customers dodged the raindrops to pick several quarts of the fruit, including Greg Nealand of Herman, who faithfully visits the fields every Tuesday.
Well, they just taste better. The store-bought ones. I don't know where they're from, but they don't have anywhere near the flavor of the local stuff.
And picking of your own, always better. Trey Wergy's Orchards will be open again for strawberry picking Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And nothing beats a good, juicy, fresh strawberry. Hopefully you guys can have some. That is all we have for tonight. We hope you have a great rest of your evening. See you back here at 10 o'clock tomorrow night.